How are
really
you?
become a commentator was class opening.
Thanks a lot.
Like your opening batting only.
Hey, thanks, man.
Varun Chakravarti, who's playing today and went on to play for India. We've seen recently Sai Sudarshan, Shah Rukh Khan. A lot of these names, I mean, I just mentioned a few. If you ask me what is the lowest point, I would say that the South Africa Test series early on in my career. But yeah, I think, I need to be careful because
Everybody wants to meet him, everybody wants to greet him, everybody wants to have a glimpse of him. And more importantly, everybody wants to have a brick from that great wall. I have with me the greatest wall of Indian cricket, Rahul Dravid. Macha, how are
really
you?
become a commentator was class opening.
Thanks a lot.
Like your opening batting only.
Many congratulations to you and your team, for all of us, for the brilliant victory in the World Cup. And welcome to TNPL, somebody of your stature taking time off and coming and watching a TNPL final. I know that it's not a surprise for me because you have a long association with TNC. It goes back a long way, mid-90s. You played a lot of cricket in Chennai. Can you just talk us through about it, your association with TNC and Chennai?
Yeah, so I came here straight out of college, as a 20-year-old boy, 21-year-old boy, to play league cricket in Madras because the standard.
Chocolate boy.
I mean, in those days, the standard of cricket here was fantastic and it was a really well-supported league. It still is, of course. But I was really looking to push myself, to get better, to improve. India Cements, gave me the opportunity in those days. Mr. Srinivasan and Mr. Swaminathan, requested me to join VB Chandrasekhar, who was, the captain of the team at that time. I was a great admirer of VB and I played with him and against him for South Zone and Tamil Nadu. And so I was keen to come and grow and learn my cricket, and I spent 2 or 3 lovely years here, playing here, staying here, and improved my game till I played for India. And I kept coming back on and off to play the odd games as I could after I played for India. But some very fond memories and a lot of cricket I learned here. I played some tough cricket here and really enjoyed it. Made some great friends who continue to be great friends till today.
We call you the wall of Indian cricket, no? You must be aware about it. And it's become even more beautiful because you have the beautiful trophy on it right now. But when it comes to Rahul Dravid, we have not seen many animated versions, like in a very aggressive manner. But I've seen it twice. One in Calcutta when you got that 100 in the 4th day, that you were jumping with joy, pumping your fist and all that stuff. Probably I still suspect you were giving a message to somebody outside the boundary. But the next one is the World Cup. When you lifted the trophy, the kind of roar and you were pumping your fist and all that stuff. Can you just talk us through those feelings? Did it make you a complete, it gave you a complete coach feeling or something like that?
No, I think, Ramesh, I think it just comes out. You don't plan these things, you don't think about these things. Of course, there is, in most times I try to keep my emotions in check as a coach where you're expected to kind of do that. But at that moment, I think it just came out. To be honest, I felt really happy for the team. I felt happy for all of those boys. I felt happy for the support staff. So many people who had worked really hard with me, along with me. And not only in that tournament, I'd been with the team for almost 2.5, 3 years. And we had come close a few times, whether it was the semi-finals of the last T20 World Cup in Australia, World Test Championship final, a final in the 50-over World Cup in India. And we were just not able to cross the line in those critical moments.
But you were moving from strength to strength, right?
We were playing better and we were playing good cricket. But, as you know, Ramesh, sometimes even in those situations, you can play well. But you need a little bit of luck, you need a little bit of destiny to work, to go your way. And I think that day it was with us. In some of the other tournaments, unfortunately, it was not with us. And I think a lot of that was just happiness and relief coming out. But yeah, I think, I need to be careful because my sons are wondering, what am I doing, man?
So your transition came from under 19, that you started coaching from under 19, you went into the senior level. What was the challenge for a coach? Because when you enter the senior team, you see so many superstars, apart from you being one of the biggest icons and superstar. How do you get them together? Because you're going to see a lot of, I don't want to use the word, but still want to use the word, a lot of positive egos and negative egos in the dressing room. You got them united and got the trophy. So what was the biggest challenge for you?
Well, I think I can't, completely take all the credit for that. I think a lot of the team, I believe that teams are really led by the group of senior players, led by the captain. So I think it was a privilege to work with Rohit. I think in these 2.5 years, I think he was a fantastic leader. People really gravitated towards him, the team. And I think that makes a big difference. There were a lot of other senior players as well, whether it was a Virat, whether it was a Bumrah, whether it was an Ashwin in Test cricket that we played. So many of them, I really don't think sometimes people people just because a lot of Indian cricketers are big names and they are superstars and rightly so, and they're followed by so many people. People sometimes think that they have big egos and they are very difficult to manage. But actually, I think it's just the opposite. A lot of these superstars are actually very humble about their preparation. They are humble about their work ethic, and that is why they are superstars. I mean, you're seeing it in Ashwin. At this age, he is willing to adapt. He's willing to learn. So it's just one example. I think these superstars, of course, at times you have to manage them, manage their bodies, manage the workload, a lot of those things. But to be honest, it was not very difficult. I had a good group of people around me, and it was a privilege and a pleasure to work with some of these guys. And I'm happy we were able to create a good environment. But a lot of the credit must go to the captain and the senior people who, to be honest with you, actually drive a team.
Jam, I can call you Jam.
You can call me that, buddy.
Yeah. So, see, we all know that your highest point of coaching career is when you lifted the trophy. But if I may ask, what was your lowest point you went through the phase and all that stuff? I'm asking this question specifically because for the aspiring coaches and the young coaches who could be watching this interview, how do you pull back? How do you bounce back from that kind of situation?
Yeah, so I think it's a really good question. If you ask me what is the lowest point, I would say that the South Africa Test series early on in my career, we won the first Test match in South Africa in Centurion, and then we were playing the second and third Test match. We have never won a series in South Africa, as you know. It was a really big opportunity for us to win that series. Some of our senior players were not there. Rohit was injured, and we didn't have some senior players in that series. But we were very close, and in both the Test matches, the second and the third Test match, in the third innings, we had a big opportunity. We could have set a decent score and won the game, but South Africa played well. They chased back in the fourth innings. So I would say that was probably my lowest point in my coaching thing, of not being able to win that series in spite of being ahead. But there were a lot of learnings from that. A lot of those experiences, we learned a lot from. We learned a lot about our team. We learned a lot about things that we need to do. So I think as coaches, what is very important that is you will go through ups and downs. What is really important is to maintain that balance, is to realize that you can't always win games. Other teams have also come to play. You're playing against some world-class sides, and you have no right to always win. You have a right to prepare well. You have a right to your processes. You have a right to do the right preparation, pick the right teams, prepare your team well. But even in spite of that, some days you lose, and you have to learn how to keep a balance and keep lifting your team and keep lifting the morale of your side.
That's a wonderful advice. So talking about this kind of tournament, TNPL, what is the kind of contribution it makes to Indian cricket as per you? Because it has produced a lot of talents like Nataraj and Washington Sundar, Sai Sudarshan, Shah Rukh Khan and so on. So when you were an Indian coach, were you taking a sneak peek into the TNPL tournament also, looking at some talents here?
Yes, I think a lot of these leagues, the state leagues, including the TNPL or the KPL that we have in Karnataka, or some of these leagues, I think in Punjab there's a league now. A lot of these leagues, I think, become a little bit of a feeder system for the IPL teams. There's no doubt that all the IPL teams are watching these tournaments. Even as an India coach, to be honest, you are looking at these tournaments. You're seeing some really exceptional talents come through. I mean, look at the TNPL, whether it is someone like Varun Chakravarti who's playing today and went on to play for India. We're seeing recently Sai Sudarshan, Shah Rukh Khan. A lot of these names, I mean, I just mentioned a few. I'm sure there are other names. I mean, Sai Kishore or your M. Siddharth. People like that who have actually played in these tournaments. They get the limelight, they get that focus. Just the fact that you have to play in front of 25,000 fans here, you have to play in front of 20,000 fans when you're playing in other places around Tamil Nadu, gives people confidence that you can perform under pressure. It's one thing to see a player perform in a league match or in a club match or even in a Ranji Trophy match when there are not much people in the crowd. But if somebody can perform when there are 25,000 people watching you, I know it's not the IPL, but it still gives the IPL people, or it gives a lot of us who are watching these games, gives you the confidence that even in these kind of situations, those players can perform and do well. So I think it's really a big stepping stone for a lot of these young players, whether it's this TNPL, which I think has grown from strength to strength, or the KPL, or a lot of these leagues. I think they provide a really good platform for a lot of these young players.
So mind you guys, legends are watching you. So at close
always
quarters.
watching.
So you're enjoying this break, Jam. So what is your future plans? We're reading a lot of interviews, articles that you're going to be here and there and all that stuff. So what's the plan?
There are all rumors. I have no plans at the moment. I have not made any decisions. I'm just enjoying my time off and just relaxing. So yeah, we'll take it as it comes and we'll see what happens.
I think once again, thank you for being here.
Ramesh,
it's
lovely
such
to
an
see you.
inspiring presence, and
Absolutely
time to
lovely to
back
see you.
off from the wall. Great wall.